Hello everyone, I'm Tim Tuller, canon for music at St. John's Cathedral, and I'm going to say a few words about the music for this Sunday. This week we are actually recognizing Veterans Day, and so the hymns that we're singing this Sunday have some patriotic overtones to them. We're singing Eternal Father Strong to Save and God of Our Fathers. And our prelude this Sunday is entitled Cortège and Litany by the great 20th century French organist Marcel Dupré. Marcel Dupré is well known amongst organists. He's arguably the greatest, if not one of the greatest organists of the 20th century. And he wrote an enormous amount of organ music. He was very important as a composer, but also as a teacher. And he taught an enormous number of important organists, and his influence is absolutely felt down to the present day. He lived between 1886 and 1971, so a long life. Early on in his career, he did write piano music, and he wrote some incredible piano music, most of which has disappeared from the repertoire, unfortunately. In fact, when he was a young student and he decided he was going to focus on organ, his piano teacher declared that the world had lost what would have been its greatest pianist when he decided to go into organ. An enormously talented individual. The Cortège and Litany actually started out life as a piano piece, solo piano piece. And later on, Dupré actually arranged it for organ and orchestra and performed it with the Philadelphia Orchestra on the Wanamaker organ at Wanamaker's department store in Philadelphia. And then only after that was it finally arranged as a solo organ composition. Now that's the form we usually hear it in today, but it's actually its third incarnation. It was first a piano piece, then a piece for piano organ, and then finally a solo organ work. It's in two parts, and it starts out with a very beautiful, quiet chorale section, the cortege, which sort of evokes image sort of a funereal procession of some type. And then it goes into the litany, which is based on repeated notes. It starts out very quietly, and eventually it grows and grows and grows until finally the original tune from the cortege combines with this tune from the litany into two parts, and it ends in just an explosive apotheosis on the full organ. It's a very effective piece, and to me it kind of represents sort of a movement from darkness to light, or fear to hope, something like that. Our offertory anthem this Sunday is "Oh How Amiable Are Thy Dwellings" by the 20th century English composer Ralph Vaughan Williams. Vaughan Williams wrote an enormous amount of music that is still performed today in the Anglican Church especially. "Oh How Amiable" is a modest piece, but it's one of his very most well-known and well-loved pieces. It's very melodic. And you'll notice at the end of the piece, Vaughan Williams takes the choir into a version of the hymn, "O God, Our Help in Ages Past," which we've often sung as well here at St. John's with the full congregation. Our postlude is the Prelude in G major by J.S. Bach. Now this piece is the first part of the Prelude and Fugue in G major. It's a well-known, one of Bach's most well-known and well-loved organ pieces. It was actually written for Bach's eldest son, Wilhelm Friedemann Bach. And it was for him to use at an audition that he did for the Sophiankirche in Dresden. And the piece is quite showy and flashy. And when Wilhelm Friedemann performed this for the jury, he won the audition unanimously. And there's documentation of the judges saying that he was head and shoulders above all the other candidates. However, being the son of J.S. Bach, who's arguably the greatest composer who ever lived, and definitely one of the top few composers ever lived by any measure, it really took a toll on Wilhelm. And as talented as he was as an organist and composer in his own right, he tragically ended up dying an alcoholic in his later years. I hope you enjoy the music this Sunday.